My name is Emily Carter, and I am 26 years old. That night was supposed to be one of the happiest moments of my life. Our company was celebrating a huge success. The ballroom was filled with bright lights, expensive decorations, and important guests. Everyone was smiling, laughing, and congratulating my family. My parents stood proudly on the stage. My sister, Rachel, stood beside them, looking confident and perfect as always. Then my father held up a car key and announced, "This SUV is our gift to Rachel for her hard work and dedication to the company." The crowd clapped loudly. Rachel smiled like a queen who had just been crowned. I waited, thinking maybe there was something for me too. After all, I had worked day and night for this company. I had sacrificed sleep, friendships, and even my personal dreams to help it grow. Finally, my mother turned toward me. She handed me a small $10 chocolate bar. People laughed softly. Some looked confused. Others looked uncomfortable. I forced a smile and asked quietly, "Why does she get a car and I get this?" My mother smiled coldly and said, "Because this is what you deserve." My heart sank. My face burned with shame. But I stayed silent. Because they had no idea. The real story was about to come out. I stood there holding the cheap chocolate, trying not to cry. My sister Rachel avoided looking at me, and my parents acted like nothing was wrong. The music played again. Guests returned to talking. But my chest felt tight, like I couldn't breathe. Then a man in a dark suit walked toward the stage. He was Mr. Thompson, one of the senior managers of our company. He looked serious, not like someone ready to celebrate. He tapped the microphone and said, "May I have everyone's attention, please?" The room slowly went silent. Mr. Thompson looked at the crowd, then looked straight at me. "There is something important the public needs to know tonight," he said. "This company's success was not built by Rachel Carter." My sister's smile disappeared. My parents froze. Then he said the words that changed everything. "The real creator of this company's original idea, the person who funded its first projects, and the one who built its foundation, is Emily Carter." The entire room gasped. All eyes turned to me. My hands trembled. My heart raced. For years I had stayed silent. For years I had let them take credit. But tonight, the truth had finally begun to rise. The room felt frozen. Everyone stared at me like I had just become a different person. My parents looked shocked. My sister Rachel looked scared. Mr. Thompson continued, "Emily Carter invested her own savings to start this company. She created the original business plan and worked behind the scenes for years." My mother tried to interrupt him. "That's not true," she said nervously. But I finally found the courage to speak. I stepped forward and took the microphone. "It is true," I said softly. "I started this company when I was 21. I worked nights, skipped vacations, and gave up everything to make it succeed." I looked at my parents. "You asked me to stay quiet. You said Rachel needed confidence. You promised my time would come. But instead, you gave her the credit and gave me silence." My voice shook, but I kept going. "You didn't just hurt me. You erased me." Some guests whispered. Others shook their heads in disbelief. Then I revealed the final shock. Months ago, I quietly took back my legal rights to the company. I now hold the majority ownership. My parents turned pale. Rachel looked like she might faint, and for the first time in my life, I was no longer invisible. The room stayed silent after my confession. I could feel every eye on me. My father looked down, unable to speak. My mother's face was pale. My sister Rachel stared at me like she had just lost everything. Mr. Thompson cleared his throat and said, "Effective immediately, Emily Carter will step in as the new CEO of the company." A wave of shock moved through the crowd. Rachel whispered, "That's not fair. I worked hard too." I looked at her calmly. "You worked hard," I said, "but you worked on my dream." Then I turned to my parents and held up the $10 chocolate they had given me. "You said this is what I deserve," I said quietly. "You were wrong. I deserve respect. I deserve credit. And I deserve the truth." I placed the chocolate on the table and walked back to the stage. The crowd began to clap, slowly at first, then louder. For the first time in my life, I didn't feel like the forgotten daughter. I felt strong. I felt seen. I felt free. And as I looked at the company's logo shining behind me, I realized something. They tried to break me with humiliation, but they ended up building my power. 6 months have passed since that night. The company is stronger than ever, and now everyone knows the truth. Not the story my parents created, but the story I lived. My sister and parents rarely speak to me anymore. They lost more than control. They lost my trust. Sometimes I look at that $10 chocolate in my office drawer, not as a reminder of pain, but as proof of how far I've come. I was once ignored, once mocked, once silenced. Now I am heard. Now I am respected. Now I write my own future.